With Miami, first time in the NFL, they had two running backs that developed 1,000 yards in one season together, and that was Zunk and Merck. And Merck was very instrumental in winning the two Super Bowls that we won. And the one we didn't win, he didn't play. So.
Concerning when Mercury committed himself to, whether it be to the field, to the play, once he commits himself, does he follow through?
Yes, Mercury was a very hard, conscientious ball player. He worked hard, he ran hard, he worked on the weights, and he did everything that was required of him to do.
Do you believe, based upon your years of knowledge of Mercury and his contributions and his personality, that if he was committed to have an anti-drug philosophy and counsel others to stay away from drugs, especially football players, that he would follow through with that commitment?
I really do. I think so, because he did it on the football field, and I don't see why not. I don't see why we changed him.
Do you believe that counseling by Mercury Mars to other young players coming into the league would substantially contribute to orient their lives in the proper way?
I really do.
And do you believe that the incarceration of Mercury Mars for 15 years without the benefit of parole would serve any useful social purpose?
I don't. No, I really don't.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
We always have a million questions on football, but that isn't what you're here for. It's very good to see.
Thank you. May I have just for a moment?
Sure. Okay.
Your Honor, we're expecting one more witness at the court,
Well,
please.
I'm not changing paper.
Your Honor, we're expecting one more witness.
S-C-H-A-I-M-A-N. Stephen, S-T-E-V.
I was down there earlier. Do I have to wait down there?
Court, come to order.
Have a seat, sir.
Mr. Little, would you kindly state your full name and current profession?
Larry Little, and I have just been appointed head football coach at Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach.
Did you have an opportunity, and we all know the answer, to play with the Miami Dolphins?
Right.
And during that playing of in your professional career, did you have an opportunity to meet with and know Gene Mars?
Yes, I did.
Also known as Mercury Mars.
Right.
Would you describe basically his commitment once made to the field, to the game, to his teammates?
Well, Eugene Mars that I knew and still know at the time, anytime he made a total commitment to something, he always dedicated himself to it. And during the time that we were playing for the Miami Dolphins, he was an avid bodybuilder and weightlifter, and he was very dedicated to what he was doing. And that made him one of the great football players that he was.
Do you believe that if the Gene Mars that you know committed to an anti-drug philosophy, committed to counseling others against drugs, that he would maintain that commitment throughout the rest of his life?
I think he would. Ironically, I spoke to him on the phone last week. He was telling me how much he enjoyed working with the kids that he's working with now while he's locked up. He was telling me how much he enjoyed it and how he think he's going to be able to help some of those people that are also in jail right now. That he really enjoys doing it. I think if he gets a chance, he'll commit himself to that and stick to his word.
Do you think any useful social purpose would occur by incarcerating Mercury Morris, Eugene Morris, for a period of 15 years without parole?
I really don't, because he has so much to offer to society. As you know, I have a boys' camp. I've had for the last 14 years here in Dade County. And I used to ask Eugene to come out there at times and talk to the kids and give up his time. You couldn't pay him any money. Like a lot of professional athletes like to get paid for what they're doing. But he always came without any hesitation and did what he had to do for me. And I feel that he can be an asset to our society, not only in Dade County, but wherever he is, in helping people.
Mr. Little, you have counseled many young people, in fact, many other people, based upon your very fine reputation in this community. Do you have a feeling for the sensitivity of the community, and especially the black community, concerning what is occurring at this time?
True. Right now, as we all know, there's a sensitivity in the black community. And Gene was and still is a hero to a lot of people. And I know there are a lot of people looking at this thing very closely. So hopefully something can be worked out where he can get out. I'm not asking for, I'm not saying that he wasn't guilty in whatever he was doing either, but I've never known him to do what he was doing. But if he gets out, I know he'll be an asset to this community.
And you think that would help in this community, in the black community, to know that this system, the legal system, can be so structured with flexibility to help somebody who has gone astray?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck in Daytona.
Thank you.
Seems like there's been a lot of knee injuries. Seems like there's been a lot of knee injuries based upon the
Yes.
people sit in chairs.
Really
Mr.
too
Morris,
small.
would you please state your full name? I know your current address.
Eugene Edward Morris. I live at 6200 Southwest 64th.
And you're currently incarcerated in the Dade County Jail.
Yes, I am.
You've heard the testimony about people who have known you and people who have known you since you've been incarcerated, including Mr. Buckholm. Would you briefly describe for the court what you've been able to accomplish in the Dade County Jail with the youngsters you've been counseling?
Well, first of all, I counsel the juveniles. People have been bound over from juvenile court because of the seriousness of the nature of their crimes that they've committed over here. Although they're juveniles, they're still treated in the eyes of this court as adults because of their crimes. What happens when these people come over here? And I say people because in certain regards, juveniles are children, but their crimes are adult crimes. So what I've tried to do is first of all, let myself be an example. They need certain role models that they just don't have right now because of the nature of the tension in the community and because of the economic standards and because of many other things that principally don't involve the children getting help, which is what they really need as far as counseling is concerned. What I've tried to do was, number one, instill certain aspects of their human lives as opposed to the roles that they do have to follow in the communities where they came from that put them in these situations. By and large, the people that I counsel, their crimes are drug-related crimes. And
How have you counseled them? What have you told them, using yourself as an example?
well, first of all, I give them specifics and example of how if you do something, if you make what we call a habitation of a split second of insanity, which is by nature what happens to all people who commit crimes by and large, that there's still a certain part of saving grace that they can have, but they have to understand that to be incarcerated is not exactly the end, but it can be the beginning for them. We go over their cases, the things that are involved in their cases. Majority of them come here without any knowledge of what they're being charged with, whether or not their rights have been violated, whether or not the public defenders are keeping up with their cases because of the enormous caseload that they do have. They really don't get sufficient enough counseling to be able to know what's going on when they walk in the courtroom.
Have they counseled with you privately in groups concerning their drug use, and what have you told them?
Well, we've gone privately and out in the open, because I believe that, as I use myself as an example first, about my drug problem that I had, and the amazing thing about these kids is that the peak age is 17 years old and ranging down to 14 in the kids that I have. And although their charges are serious charges, armed robbery, armed burglary, kidnapping, murder, all these things that attribute to them coming off positive as far as being over here and using it as an outlet towards knowing what they want when they get out of here. The drugs that they did involve themselves with eventually had to do with the crimes.
Have you used yourself as an example to tell them that even a celebrity, a internationally known, famous running back, can fall down into the depths based upon the use of drugs?
Oh, exactly. They all had the same MO. It was all the same. They all started at 12 or 13. They all started skipping classes at the same time. They all started by nature of peer pressure, and they all started with at least one person who was older than them or had more experience than them in the type of crime that they committed.
Are you committed to an anti-drug philosophy, any type of drug whatsoever?
Anytime.
Would you ever indulge in, use, participate in any illicit drug, non-prescribed drug whatsoever, kind or nature?
No, I wouldn't, because seeing what this has done to my life, not so much the conviction, but the abuse of drugs. It's a carryover not only from my life and the lives of other professionals, not only in just football or sports, but in every professional walk, that there has to be some type of medium ground where rehabilitation and corrections can have some true meaning.
Do you feel that you could contribute to not only youngsters, but other professional players who are currently playing, former players, if given the opportunity to, through the U.S. Football League, to counsel with them?
Yes, I do. I very much would like that situation to arise, not merely for the fact that I was tried here and convicted here. I still, as I sit here to this day, I'm perplexed at how I was convicted, but I was. And the point that I'm trying to make is that to go on from here to serve a genuine purpose in accordance to what the law serves, and that is to help to correct and rehabilitate for the public interest, I feel that I could best be served and serve the public in a facet that would allow me to reach out to the many people that I'm sure that I would come in contact with.
Do you feel that 15 years incarceration without parole would serve any socially useful purpose concerning yourself?
Let me say this, and I want to be very candid about it. Had I been convicted under the circumstances of normality, by that I mean regular investigatory procedures, finding and instilling certain aspects of guilt or innocence, and then working from that aspect of it, I believe that would be the case. But in this particular case, in which, with all due respect, the situation that I'm involved in right now was not of that nature, and I feel that if I'm allowed to continue this ongoing process of growth, not only for myself and for someone else, it would serve a better aspect for not only the public, but for the legal aspect of it also.
Do you feel that if the availability, and let me use that, if the opportunity was not presented to you to indulge in a situation which evolved into a trafficking of cocaine, if it wasn't presented to you, and you were not given the opportunity, do you think with the assistance of the Pastor Schubert and the members of the Sunset Chapel, you would have come out of your drug program, your drug indulgence, I should say, and been a useful contributing citizen?
I believe so. In fact, I know so. Because, number one, my family was my principal interest at that time and was the basic reason why I did seek help.
And then you feel that basically had there not been a Fred Donaldson offering you the opportunity to commit the crime, you could have evolved out of the situation you were in drug use and abuse.
Yes, I do.
And you think that you would have, at this state, been a useful citizen?
I think that at this point that I am a useful citizen and I still have the capabilities of being a better used citizen in terms of usefulness to the public.
Thank you.
No, Mr. I don't have any questions, sir.
Thank you. Judge, I've previously given to Mr. Yass a motion, and it's basically entitled, and we're filing it this time, a motion for declaration declaring the Florida Trafficking Statute, Florida Statute 893.135, sub 3, unconstitutional. The same applies to the defendant Eugene Edward Morris. And I wonder if the court would indulge me for a few minutes while I presented it. Your Honor, although the motion, as many of my motions seem to be a little verbose, I think we're dealing with a life of a person who is not only known to the court, but known to all of us. I cannot help but get an emotional feeling and a pit in my stomach to think that we would take the fleet-footed, famous running back who has gone astray and give him a death sentence in the Florida penitentiary. The life expectancy is 54 years. If he serves 15, that is an effective death sentence. It is my position that this court need not sentence Mr. Morris to the minimum mandatory, in that the Florida Constitution and the cases pertaining thereto under the 8th Amendment do not require that a defendant, in order to obtain a waiver of the minimum mandatory, waive his constitutional right to self-incrimination in other matters, or waive his appeal, or waive any constitutional issues that must incriminate the defendant of crimes other than the